I'm doing a lot of work, and I have been doing over the years for people and obviously for myself, or with people for myself, on reclaiming the soul aspects that are still playing out the patterned behaviors, traumas that we have been living through and humanity has been living through for hundreds of years, if not thousands. It's big work that's happening at the moment. Everything's coming to the surface for a reason. Globally, on the meta level and personally on the micro level. And this is calling us all, whether it's understood or not understood, to those aspects that are in a holding pattern in different timelines that are still coming through. Some of them are personal, some of them are ancestral, some of them are collective. And I want to talk about two kinds of aspects and reclamation. There's the reclamation of those aspects that are in those holding patterns that are not being reclaimed and returned to oversoul. What shamans call, I guess they call it a soul retrieval. But it's beyond this, okay? Because once it's returned, these aspects are returned to the oversoul. They are dissolved, transformed, transmuted. They're back home. They're back home. And in that oversoul home, in the spirit of who you are, you cannot do anything except join the frequency of your original blueprint. Okay. Now, I'm just I've made some notes on this today because I really wanted to talk about other aspects really in terms of the reclamation of the self. I wrote a book recently. I published it. You may know, you may not. Ghosts Embodied, about the soul's returns of frequency, feeling, and authenticity. And the ghosts embodied are not ghosts out there. They're the ghosts that you are. They're the ghosts. They're those unreclaimed, um, unabsorbed, returned aspects of the soul that are still running the show. And most of those are triggered through trauma. And this is where we've been in the healing world, the energy world, whatever, is the healing of trauma. And yeah, let's do that. The whole world is traumatized. It's time to stop playing out those patterns of trauma and to release those holding patterns, okay, and return to aspects of ourselves that are the greater aspects of ourselves that are not encouraged to be expressed in general, and they are buried in the shadows. And those are your gifts. So it's time also to reclaim your gifts, your knowledge, your experiences of when you have overcome things, right? It's time to reclaim the warrior, the disruptor. It's time to reclaim the adept, the wisdom keeper, the sharer of wisdom, the bridger of physical, spiritual knowledge. It's time to reclaim the mystics, that you are. It's time to reclaim all of those other holding patterns that have been held there also because they're wanting to be embodied here and now, not to return to oversoul because we are all part of that. These are not the traumatized parts of yourself. These are the parts of yourself that you've forgotten, the creator, the artist, the passionate person that you actually, and soul that you actually are. And so I wanted to remind you of this because we, and myself included, so I'm saying we, are often claiming the wounded healer instead of the high priestess who just shifts that, or the miracle worker, right? We are often reclaiming the persecuted, the victim, instead of reclaiming the warrior and the victor. And it's time to bring these aspects of ourselves back. In fact, it's vital. It's actually becoming vital because as systems are shifting around us and the change is going through this bridging place, it's like being on a flight and you know you're meant to be arriving at a certain airport, but there's these delays and you're still in the air and you can't do anything about it anyway, whether you stay in the air or whether the plane drops, right? But we can do something about this, can't we? We can reclaim those parts of us, those aspects that are in this holding pattern that are calling now to be heard, to be seen, to be owned, and to be embodied. Okay? You've come here with purpose, and I'm going to do something else about purpose later in another talk. It doesn't matter whether you're working in a supermarket, a restaurant, whether you're a corporate leader, a lawyer, a yoga teacher, it actually doesn't matter. So many people think they have to become energy healers and energy workers or whatever in order to be doing their purpose because they have, they have this knowledge or they have this ability. The fact is that whatever frequency you are, who you are, seeds the field, seeds the collective consciousness with more possibility of higher frequency. You could be walking past someone or standing past next to someone in the supermarket, and without even knowing it, you are affecting their frequency. I wish I could remember her name. Beautiful New Zealand lady who does stuff she took Masaru Emoto's work further with the water. And they did tests, research on things like free-range eggs being put next to battery farm eggs. One free-range egg was shown when it sits with the battery farmed egg to raise the frequency of the battery farmed eggs. Okay? If you're standing next to someone in the office who is not of particular spiritual awareness or development, doesn't matter. You are opening the door, you are seeding the field, their field, with the possibility that there may be something else out there for them. If you're standing next to someone, you may not know it, or you may, if you're an empath, feel their depression or whatever. If you're doing that, you could well be raising them and giving them hope in a way that you can't even recognize, and neither do you need to. So it's time. It's time to reclaim the alchemist. It's time to reclaim the mystic. It is time to reclaim the disruptor. All right, and to empower yourself, not in the victim role, but rather as the hero on the hero's journey who's actually a warrior, who's courageous in the face of fear and disruption and chaos that's going on, negative disruption, that is. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about that. I want to go deeper into it in another talk, and I'm sending you all love. Just leave you with those thoughts and what's there, waiting in your field to be reclaimed, re-embodied, and experienced.